Howdy, it's Jim Morado, and we are hanging out at High Bridge, Kentucky, and actually at the famous railroad bridge crossing that goes over the Kentucky River, 275 feet up. Yeah, High Bridge kind of describes the community and the bridge, and some water bottled in the area. But there's a little park right here, and we met some friends over here. Well, I think back in August. I want to say I filmed this in August, and we met some friends. There were some cows I was just filming. There's an old boat on display here. It's just kind of fascinating. Yeah, with everything going on in the world right now, my wife, my mother-in-law, and I went out, and we met some mutual friends that we have who actually live in Harrodsburg. And this just seemed like a nice little park to kind of meet and have a little picnic, hang out a little bit. I like trains, they like trains. And we had a good time. Yeah, not sure exactly what all this boat's about, but it was pretty accessible. They have a little fence around it, but I mean, you could kind of open the door and peek inside. And we were here on this particular day with our pal Harry and Eleanor. They actually they helped get my future and late father-in-law and my mother-in-law together. So they've known members of our family since before I was born, and it's always great getting together with them. Harry's a character. He's a bit of a story on his own, but I'm actually gonna just play some of his audio as we travel around because he knows a little bit about everything. Check out this train though for now. And yeah, I know there's a better vantage point for watching trains if you've been to this park. In fact, we're about to go to it. Here's a little pavilion that's just lovely. This reminds me of something. I don't know. This reminds me of something like a pavilion where people would have danced on Sundays or something. I just think it's really cute, and it's out there for picnics and all. And here is a little kind of bridge walkway where you can go out and look at the bridge and see what's there and just get a good look. You know, it's another good vantage point for seeing trains. I kind of liked where we just were, though. I kind of stumbled upon that. We were having our picnic, and we heard the train coming, and I just went out there and went and checked it out. But yeah, you can see the bridge from this little steel bridge thing that we're on right now, too, and get a good look at the area. And that's, I think that's really just a fun view. And this steel cable support area we're on, it's actually a little... it's a little shaky, to be honest with you. And Harry thought it would be funny to come out there and jump around on it. Anyway, we still had a good time, and this was just a great view, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. But yeah, we're looking at the bridge there. And I wanted to mention my friend Harry. He's a Vietnam vet, preacher, and he is a heart transplant recipient. Just an interesting guy. If you live in Harrodsburg, you probably know him. He's opinionated, and he's a lot of fun too, and we really enjoy getting together with him and his wife. He carried the torch during one of the Olympics. I think that's great. He's an accomplished artist too, and he knows just a little bit about everything, and he's big into history. And I feel like we'll probably make some more videos with him at some point, just because he's just got a little bit of knowledge about everything. In fact, he's driving right now, and we're just going around with him. He thought, again, Baja Bridge, he thought that little house up there may have been a restaurant at some point. He thought it looked like the kind of business that just may have been a restaurant somewhere down the road. And this is a neat area. We were just driving around because we're right up against the Kentucky River, and there's just a lot going on down here. It's very rural, very secluded, and these are just fun areas. You've got little houses down here. We'll see a house on stilts a little bit later. But of course you've got water, coming up kind of close to some homes, and you've got the road work here. There's actually a cave back here that we see briefly too, and there's kind of a danger do not enter sign, but we noticed people were still going in there. That didn't stop anybody. Yeah, but we drove down here just to get a look. There's a dam down here too, and we saw people fishing and people swimming. Kind of a fun Kentucky area. Just people kind of show up and do their own thing. And I think the people that live down here really don't care. People seem nice. We chatted with a lot of other people. And a little bit, we're not that far from Shaker Village. And we did see, I believe, a boat from there as we were driving around. But again, this is just a very green area. I like that a lot. And it was fun driving around with Harry and our family on this particular day. And as often happens in my videos, the windows are a little dirty. There's that boat over there, which I believe is from Shaker Village. I gotta find out more about that, because that just looks fun, and I want to do that. But yeah, we're just driving around back here, checking out houses near High Bridge. And I don't know much else of the history here. I know Harry mentioned that there's like a kind of I believe, underground storage that they use out here too, and we kind of drove by there. We drive by there towards the end of this video. But yeah, and then you can see the bridge there. We'll be going under it here in just a moment. And the bridge connects Danville and Lexington, and it's been there for forever. You can look it up on Wikipedia. And to be honest, I don't know a ton about it. I know everybody always talks about High Bridge, and it is just a really attractive area. I know as I'm driving out sometimes to like Harrodsburg and some of these areas, you get on these roads, and you see just some really interesting abandoned houses, and you see doors to cellar tunnels and that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're going directly under the bridge now, just so you know. The sun's kind of getting in our eyes, but I did want to tilt the camera up so you could see that. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting buildings and old structures to see when you're driving through these parts. And there's obviously a little building on stilts there. That's yeah, obviously a home with a mailbox by it. And I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it. I don't know how high the water rises through here and all that. But very attractive as we go through here. Obviously, there's not a lot of other people driving around. Another building on stilts there. Yeah, a couple more. But yeah, just secluded, kind of out. This is if you like driving around, which I love just getting in the car and driving. This is a great area for it. Nice park up that we were just at. Just a nice area, especially if you like trains and driving around aimlessly. So yeah, we talked to a couple of. There was a guy that drove by with his family, and I don't think they were really doing anything. I think they were just they got out of their car and we talked to them a little bit. As we went out by the dam, you'll see here in a little bit. There was another, just a dad, wife, and a couple of young kids, and that's something I would have done with my dad. We would just go drive around a lot, and I know when we started dating my future wife. And they, her family was kind of out of the, that whole eastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia area. That's, I don't know, Steubenville and some areas like that are up there. And I know her dad, who was a Methodist preacher, he enjoyed, just kind of going out and driving. Often for no particular reason. And this is just kind of a good area for that. But yeah, and I remember doing that with my late father-in-law quite a bit. He also hunted, as did my father. And other than my father-in-law was a preacher, my dad was the opposite of a preacher, and maybe not quite that far. But otherwise they had a whole lot in common. They both liked to hunt. They both liked being outdoors. They were both in Vietnam. And there is just something wonderful about going out and driving like this. Yeah, and just check out the rocks there and the hill. Just fascinating. And our friend Harry also likes to just go drive around aimlessly too, and that's what we were doing today. Not to be repetitive, but yeah, it's kind of a hobby. And you make mental notes, and it's like, yeah, next time I'm there, I want to check this out, or I want to do this again. And no matter where I go, I always want to go back there again, with a few exceptions. And I want to mention this before we get there, but here in a little bit, we kind of go down and check out the dam, which is very accessible and very open too. And you do see a few beer cans and that kind of thing down there, but it seems like most of the people that go down there, are just normal people out exploring or checking out things or knowing a little bit about history. And I'll probably let Harry talk a little bit as we get down by the dam, because he knows quite a bit about that kind of stuff. And he's talked. I think he mentions it. I think he's talked about trying to even paint a picture of it, which would be really nice. He's done some prints. And I know he did at least one book cover, but he's a great artist. And you can see the bridge there again. Right there, we were kind of looking up to see that little suspension bridge, that steel bridge thing that we were looking out on earlier. And I don't think we actually saw it as we were looking up. It kind of gets lost in the trees there. But that's what we were looking for. But yeah, we go down to the dam, and it's not, well, it's super easy to access. We went down some stairs that are kind of steep, but it's a neat little area. Yeah, just easy to get to and easy to walk around and check things out and all that. And speaking of just driving around, as we're about to go back under the bridge, I remember when man, I was probably in about the 5th grade, and we bought a van. It was a new van to us, but it was a used van. And we did our only family vacation. And again, I don't think kids these days get this sort of thing, but, my dad liked to go to Land Between the Lakes. And this was the only trip I ever took, me, my mom, my dad, and my sister, the whole time growing up. This was the only, overnight trip that we all did together. And we went to Land Between the Lakes, which was just a couple of hours from where I grew up. And we just went down there and we stayed in this van at a campsite. And that, to me, to me, for the longest time, I thought that's what a family vacation was. When people talked about their family vacations, I thought, they got in a van and went to a campsite, and it was just, maybe a night or two. And we did the kind of stuff you do at Land Between the Lakes, which is a great place. I still love Land Between the Lakes. But it was a very nature-oriented trip. And of course, my dad and I would do day trips a lot. And they were very much like that. You just kind of go out and see stuff. But especially at Land Between the Lakes, that was a great place to do just a little kind of small, really weekend, one night overnight trip. But it was really special. And, I think the beauty of just kind of going out and exploring like that is almost lost with hotels and things like that now. Anyway, I'll let you listen to me and Harry talk a little bit.
Old by some standards.
My granddad used to have this old truck, and I remember the steering wheel was just mammoth.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, being young.
No power steering.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I could put my arms, here and here, and I'd have to stretch my arms to get them across this steering wheel.
Yeah, well, with no power steering, you had to have a lot of leverage.
Oh, more down here?
Mm-hmm.
Is this where the locks are?
Mm-hmm. And this is where a canoe ramp is.
Oh.
Neat. Back in here, looked like a cave.
Uh-huh.
Did you read the sign coming in here, the great big underground, the big storage area?
No. Uh-huh.
There are enormous caverns up here. And I don't know whether they were dug for salt or dug for limestone. Usually they don't dig it out like that. But they use them for long-term storage. You have records you can store. You can store them in that cave.
Well, they do that in Louisville at the mega caverns.
Yeah, well, that's the way this is. This is enormous.
And it's right here around us?
It's right up here at the top of the hill. When you go to leave, after you cross you go under this bridge, after you go underneath the next railroad bridge, it's going to be on your right. See the lock?
Yeah.
And they have a power station right there.
Oh, yeah.
And they use that for cleaning the stuff out. No trespassing. That's for other people.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Oh, that's something. Oh, that so makes me want to go in there just because it says to keep out.
Oh, yeah. I do hope you know that you're not going to go up.
I think we might want to slow down a little. Yeah.
Who says you got to go to Florida?
Yeah, no kidding.
There's no. You don't have to go to Myrtle Beach. You got Myrtle's Beach right here.
Oh man, exactly.
There's people fishing there. That's why they're down there.
Oh, I bet they're doing good too.
Uh-huh.
I had a buddy that was a professional fisherman up near Akron, and he was in an infomercial. It was for some fishing lure in the 90s, and he said they put them in a lake. He said that lake was so well stocked because they were going on about how many fish they caught, and I said, "Did you really do that good?" He goes, "Listen, those fish were pretty much jumping in our boat." Oh yeah.
Can you imagine when this was a real log? I mean, real dam and not?
Yeah.
It wasn't made for anything real big because you closed it off right here.
Yeah.
They poured concrete in.
Well.
See, we grew up near the lock and dam, and they used to have the locks in Steubenville on the Ohio River. Had what was called wickets. And they were wooden things out there, and they had a boat they would take out from here to there, kind of like the one up here, and they would raise the wickets.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what raised the river height. Well, you grew up near the river.
Yeah.
I want to say 450 of each.
No, I didn't know Teddy Roosevelt wrote about it.
Oh, if you read The Winning of the West. I've been reading about Harrodsburg.
Oh,
They
yeah.
call it Harrodstown. And I've been getting the information I use for my paintings. Did you know that Kentucky had Harrodstown bought before the end of the beginning of the 1880s? There was over 200 slaves in Harrodsburg.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah. I love how the carved in stone now. Those aren't set in concrete, but those were carved in stone.
Yeah.
Measured river heights. Those are collector's items.
You know, when we went
Tight.
Yeah, okay.
And they would tie them up here before they went into the lock. I want to do a painting of this.
Yeah.
I took pictures of this, only I'm going to take it back and put a pedal wheel. Pedal wheeler right here. I don't know what kind of hair that is. Reeds. Look at that deer. Josh walked out here. Grandma about had a fit.
Oh, I bet.
Look, they've taken up that walk.
But yeah, he actually talks about like going to Arizona or going to New Mexico to do digs and stuff. Is that the sign you were talking about?
No, that one's High Bridge.
You mind if we have a moment to take a picture? Jen, do you have my phone?
Yeah.
Can you get a picture of that real quick?
I don't have a good shot here, but
Okay, yeah, thank you.
It goes down someplace, but it may just go around here.
I put up a video on YouTube, and it was me and my dad went to Land Between the Lakes. It's the video where the bison puts its head on the hood of my car. And we're trying to just like, what do we do? Like, how do we get out of this?
Yeah, really.
And it took us about half an hour to try to. It's probably 20 minutes or so. They didn't keep out children at play.
Oh no, not children.
Yes, these are probably the most
That's where my
spectacular
stepmother
hotel.
and dad went on their honeymoon.
Did
Yeah.
you take a trip next weekend? Go somewhere? I don't know. We haven't.
We've been trying to, because I'm about to go crazy in the house all the time with
Poor
Jenny.
dear.
Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Poor dear.
He's behind us. Just a storage place.
It's an underground storage place.
Yeah, he's right behind us.
There's the entrance, and
Yeah.
underneath all that is storage.
You store stuff there.
Anybody that wants to get the second page.
No.
You got it, Jim?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. That's fine. I got what I needed. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, sweetie. You're the greatest.